So everybody, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Mic on?
Yeah.
It's not on.
What?
Your mic's not on.
I know, but I was just telling them informally. I figured they could hear me. Dana and Vicky, are we good to go?
We're good to go.
Okay. Now I'll turn on my microphone. Good evening. The City of Plymouth City Special Meeting for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024 is now called to order. Members of the public not attending in person may submit written comments prior to the meeting by emailing your comment to the Deputy City Clerk at vmchenry@cityofplymouth.org before 3:30 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Email public comments will be distributed to the City Council and made part of the official record. Can we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Amoruso,
Here.
Councilmember Sim,
Here.
Councilmember White,
Here.
Mayor Acker.
Here,
Thank you. We have a quorum.
thank you. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Councilmember Amoruso, please lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We move on to item 2. I want to take a moment to say, on behalf of the City Council, we'd like to offer our condolences to the McLaughlin family. For those of you who may not know, Councilmember Mike McLaughlin recently lost his mother. And so we keep Councilmember McLaughlin and his family in our thoughts and prayers. Number 2, approval of City Council special meeting, the agenda for tonight, December 18th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Amoruso,
Aye.
Councilmember Sim.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mayor Acker.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Number 3, presentations, proclamations, and appointments. 3.1, certification of the election results for the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election. Recommendation is to adopt resolution 2024-18, reciting the fact of the general municipal election held on November 5th, 2024, and declaring the results. Somebody like to make a motion to adopt resolution 2024-18?
I saw city legal. Okay. Was firing up their microphone, so that's what I said.
Well, red light does not lie. I would just, ask, if you'd like to ask for public comment.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on 3.1? Adopting the resolution. Reciting the fact of the general municipal election held on November 5th, 2024, and declaring the results. Is there any public comment? Let's see, I'm closest to public comment. And we have not received any written public comment on this.
No, we have not.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for that. Okay, any council discussion? Now, would anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to certify the election of results for the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election.
And just to clarify too, that would be the adoption of the resolution that comes.
Okay, sorry, adoption of resolution, sorry.
And I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Amoruso,
Aye.
Councilmember Sim, Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mayor Ackerman.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. 3.2, outgoing remarks of the outgoing council members. Councilmember White, Councilmember Sim.
Plymouth is facing some very serious challenges. A 90-year-old water and sewer infrastructure that continues to rupture and requires expensive repairs. A Main Street that is lacking in so many ways with no clear vision. A city budget where revenues are declining and costs are escalating. Things need to change before the unthinkable happens. This council has made positive improvement in the past 4 years. The city has so much potential, but not enough citizens are willing to get involved or stay informed. A toxic environment has been fostered in this community that is unfortunate. Everyone in this council knows what I'm referring to. I'm going to miss working with the people on this dais and in this room. And that includes Valerie. All of us on council are here for one reason. To make Plymouth a better place to live. I hope the new council knows what challenges they are facing. There are going to be some tough and unpopular decisions to make. Good luck and good night.
Councilmember White.
City of Plymouth, I love you. I don't know how to say that and express that anymore. Any of us that have grown up here, we love the city. To the citizens that voted me in for 2 terms, thank you so much for having the faith in me, believing in me. I didn't know if I wanted to write all this down or if I was just going to try to speak it from the heart. Councilmember Amoruso, Councilmember Colburn, Councilmember Burns, Councilmember Sandy Kyle, Councilmember Douglas Sims, Councilmember Marianne Ackerlin, and to the late Valerie Kleinfelter. Thank you. I won't say it's always been a pleasure, but it was an honor working with everyone. To former city managers, Jack Gardner, Rex Osborne, and to our new city manager, Margaret Roberts, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I've learned a lot from you guys. Like I said, to the citizens, I love you guys. I've always used a term, never say never. If you guys would have talked to me a couple weeks ago, I was tired, I was exhausted. After the recent things, and one last thank you to Councilmember McLaughlin. My condolences are with your family. You've been an extreme pleasure to work with also. But with 2 weeks ago, I would have said, I'm done, I'm ready, stuff like that. I hope that the city believes in me enough, and I hope either way, if it comes to an appointment or if it comes to we have to go to a special election, I'll go ahead and run. Here's my letter of interest. Here's my letter of interest. So hopefully this isn't a goodbye. Hopefully it's just going to be a quick little break. But yeah, I look forward and hopefully I can work with the city some more for a couple more years. Thank you.
I want to say that I've enjoyed my time on the council. I certainly have learned a lot. And one of the things that I have learned, and I urge new council members to keep in mind, but one of the things that I've learned is, well, first of all, this is a city that is full of a lot of wonderful people. And we have I think one of our greatest resources in this city are the people who have been willing to work hard and make positive changes. With volunteer work and that sort of thing. I want to encourage the new council members. I wish you the best. And just a reminder that when you're up here and you're making decisions, you are making decisions for the entire community. And whether somebody's voice is loud or soft, we represent absolutely everybody in this city, not just a handful of people. And sometimes that we just need to be reminded of that. I am happy to hear that you're willing to do this again, so thank you. And it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with my fellow council members and also the city staff. It's been a great experience. That's all I have to say. So now on to 3.3, council oath of office. New council members take their oath.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor.
Oops, I'm sorry. What?
I have some awards to hand out.
Oh, okay.
We could pause just for a moment.
Of course.
If I could get you, Councilmember Sim and Councilmember White down on the floor.
Like prone, like we're gonna get arrested.
You know, see, you want them against the wall.
Hold up there, wait a minute.
It's my husband.
Yeah. And if I can
Thank
also
you, guys.
get, Jolinda as well.
Oh.
For Bill side.
It's just a small token of the city's appreciation for your service to our city. The awards to the spouses are for giving us your spouses and letting us have them for the time that they spend with us and serve our community. We appreciate you giving us them for the time that they spend with us. We appreciate that very much. In the boxes are some what we think are beautiful tokens of our appreciation for your service to the community. We really appreciate your time. And it's been a pleasure for me working with the three of you. It's been a pure joy for me. So thank you very much.
Well, we'll show everybody, so.
You want the pictures?
Thank you. I want to say a few quick words. I want to say thank you guys for the years of sitting with you on this board. Everything's done. And you guys are hard work. And all your hard work. I think you're a pretty good team overall. And I want to congratulate and welcome new council members coming onto our board. Look forward to working with you folks. Thank you again.
Yes, congratulations to the new council members.
Yes. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So if we could have the newly elected candidates to the front of the room, that would be Dawn, Wendy, Holger, and Peter. Our new city clerk will swear you in, and she's gonna stand to the side, so your family members, if they wanna take pictures, can take pictures of you.
We do it together.
Raise the right hand.
Okay, everyone, please raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Wendy Cranford,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or reservation,
that I will and well and faithfully
that I will and well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which
discharge the duties upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Which we get?
Yeah. Yeah.
Item on the agenda is selection of the mayor. And county council policy is that the mayor is to have 23 months on the council at any given time. And so with that, the only person qualified at this time to serve as the mayor would be Councilmember Amoruso. It would still take a motion and a vote of the council. And the vice mayor takes 11 months on the council, but with the rest of the people on the council not having that, anyone can serve as the vice mayor. The city clerk will run the voting process for the mayor, and then the newly elected mayor will do the process for the vice mayor. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the city clerk to run the voting process for the mayor.
And before that occurs, we would also just like to provide an opportunity for the public to make comments too. That's all. Thank you.
So is there anyone in the public that would like to make public comment? With none seen, I'll close public comment and turn it over to the city clerk.
Thank you.
Nominations for mayor are now open.
I nominate Pete Amoruso, mayor.
I'm not gonna nominate.
I second.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call vote for Councilmember Amoruso. Councilmember Nunn.
Aye.
Councilmember Cornish.
Aye.
Councilmember Cranford.
I,
Councilmember Amoruso.
I accept. Thank you.
There are 4 votes and Councilmember Amoruso has been selected as mayor. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mayor Amoruso. Congratulations.
Please bear with me. It's been a while since I've been mayor, and so it might be a little rough. All right, so we are going to go on to four consent calendar items. I'm looking for a motion. But hold on, open it to public comment.
No,
Oh, that's right, there's no,
Vice Mayor.
oh, that's right. Okay, I'm looking for nomination for vice mayor.
And also for nominations, would Mr. Mayor like to ask for public comment on this item?
Sorry. Public comment, vice mayor. Seeing none, close public comment and open the floor for nominations.
We obviously didn't want to do it.
I nominate Don Nunn for vice mayor.
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Okay, Councilmember Crawford. Aye. Councilmember Cornish.
Aye.
Councilmember Nunn.
Aye.
Mayor Amoruso.
Aye. On consent calendar. And I'm looking for a public comment on. Okay, close public comment and any council discussion?
I have one question on this.
Sure.
Being new, maybe this is a dumb question, but
There's no question.
okay, when I read through this, 4.8 is adopting the resolution, accepting the work on the project. And for city manager to execute notice of completion, but then when I read through on 7.1, it says fire station improvement update. So I don't understand why we're getting an update after if it's done. Or we just put it on the done. That's what I didn't understand that when I read this.
The previous council asked to always have an update on the fire station, so this will be the last update on the fire station project. And it's just, it's a written. 7.1 is on the update for the fire station, it's just a written update stating that the fire station is done and that the grand opening for the fire station will be in January at the request of the fire chief.
Okay, so it was a procedural thing, basically. Okay, yeah, I'm good with it.
I've noticed one error, I don't know if it matters. Again, being new, I have no idea if this matters, but under the consent calendar 4.5. If you go to the 4.6 is to regarding the Greelitch agreement. If you go to that number in the document, it actually lists it as 4.5 at the top of the document. It's just a typo. I don't know if that matters for anything.
Okay, thank you.
Just to, add that to that, Councilmember Cranford, if you see anything, you feel free, you're more than welcome to address it. Sometimes there are items that are, there's subject to changes to, particularly some things that are on the consent calendar, you can address it, because then it would be passes. And for something like this, it is helpful to note, it is thorough, so there's no issue with that. Thank you.
So if everyone's in agreement, I'm looking for a motion to accept the consent calendar as presented. I make motion to approve.
I second.
Councilmember Crawford.
Aye.
Councilmember Cornish.
Aye.
Councilmember Nunn.
Aye.
Mayor Amarissa.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes.
There we go. We have no public hearings, so regular agenda items. 6.1, consider TOT grant funding for 15,000 for 2024-2025 Challenge Champions Rodeo, and consider application request for 15,000 each year for the next 3 years, I guess. So I open this up to public comment. Seeing no public comment, we'll move on and come to council for any council discussion.
I'll start it off. I mean, I'm all comfortable with granting the funding for the first year for the $15,000. I find it hard for me to commit to something further than a year from now, because I'm not even sure where we're gonna be in a year from now, if that makes any sense. And I look for you guys' input as well on that, please.
I would, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, Don.
No, I would agree with, Councilor Cornish on the timeframe there, the 3 years. I think this should be done yearly, because we never know where we're gonna be 1 year to the next with our top funds and with our other expenses that come up in the city. We could very well get in a situation where this money's needed somewhere else. The one other consideration on this that the thing that I was looking at, and I understand it's my first year doing this, but to me, it seems like 15,000 is a little high, given other things we have to pay for and stuff. I would be a lot more comfortable at maybe 5,000. When we get a better look at the budget and so forth, and maybe next year, have a better idea of where we're at, possibly if they come and reapply, it could possibly be more. Maybe not, but I would be comfortable approving 5,000 for 1 year. I'm not really comfortable with 15,000 right off the bat, and I'm definitely not comfortable with more than 1 year at a time.
Okay, I have a few questions. Hopefully you have the answers. I did notice that, so in regards to using the funds for something else, as you were saying, Councilmember Nunn, I think this money is slotted very specifically for it's from a promotion support fund through TOT, correct? Okay, so, I wanna make sure I have my information correct in my head. We receive TOT from hotels in town, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do we know approximately annually how much TOT we get from the Shenandoah Inn? Is there anyone know? I don't know, it might be.
So there are certain information that's confidential
Okay.
for two reasons. One, it's proprietary information based off of the gross receipts of the hotel. And the second thing is that information is also exempt from disclosure under the California Public Records Act because it relates to taxpayer information. So we cannot disclose that
Okay.
publicly, but we can say that.
They are up to date in paying their
Okay.
top funds.
Okay, so the reason I'm
I know why you're asking.
Yeah, because
You're asking how much we're gonna lose when,
because the tribe has acquired the
Yes.
land and the land is now accepted in trust, so my concern is. Going forward, if we have a significant amount we're getting from that hotel and then we lose that TOT, I don't wanna promise the rodeo money we can't deliver on in the following years. So I am inclined to absolutely give Challenge of the Champions $15,000 this year as we have the funds in there. But I would be inclined to give it to them for all 3 years, except that now that the tribe owns that land and we don't know if we will receive TOT from that anymore, that is an enormous impact to our TOT fund. So I don't wanna come up short for I don't want the rodeo to count on it and not be able to get it. That's my biggest concern. Does that make sense?
That is understandable.
Might have a thought for Councilmember Nunn. What if we do grant the $15,000, but perhaps this entity can make some concessions and make advertising their pamphlets free of charge for anybody that's local business movement. To help each other out, yeah, just as an idea.
Well, I'd say, you know, I'm more than willing to be reasonable on it. I just think that, 15,000 is going to be a little high, but not so much the 15,000 in a year, but committing to it for 3 years. And for the same concerns that former Cranford brought up, that and knowing what our revenues are going to be in the future. If the money's in there, it's in the account to do it for this 1 year. I mean, that's fine if the rest of the council feels they want to go that direction, but definitely at this point, you know, based on what's been said here, just for this year. And they need to come back and reapply with us next year, we'll see where we're at.
So my question is, how much is in our TOT tax fund? Okay, yeah.
We currently have over 76,000 in our TOT.
It's impacted.
Right, and we have been giving them 15,000 for several years.
Yeah, it's historically.
Yeah, I agree 100% they should get it. I'm concerned about the following years and what that looks like with losing that much TOT. That's gotta be a significant impact. I know it is in the ROD with the tribe as well to pay property taxes. Do you know if any of those taxes would be allocated towards TOT? Because maybe it makes up for it.
It will not make up for it.
Got it. Thank you.
You know, we take 76,000 in there. We committed 45, that's well over 50% of what we have in there. Yeah, I think that they could easily just come and approach us next year. And possibly next year, things will be fine, we can do the 15 again. I'm just, my biggest thing is, if you guys want to go to the 15, that's fine, I agree to that. My biggest thing is I don't want to commit to this for 3 years. We'll do it this year, they can come to us again next year, and if we can do 15 next year, that's fine too. But there could very well be other events, new events come up, and they come hit us up for money too. And we spend everything on this one event.
That's right.
Can I ask one more question, just so I'm clear? Even though our TOT is currently showing 76,000, my understanding is 40% of that, which would be approximately 30,000, is what's used for this particular fund. Right, am I reading that right? The promotion support fund, so it's a fund within TOT for something like this.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. So really, we're dealing with 30,000 that is currently available out of that fund, specifically for the rodeo.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have one more quarter of funds to go.
Again. But will we receive those TOT funds now that the tribe has acquired the hotel from the hotel? We're down a hotel essentially.
We're down a hotel, but we still have the 49er and all of the Airbnbs in town.
Right. So when the rodeo's in March, so when they come and stay at the Shenandoah, well, first, I don't even know if the Shenandoah is still gonna be in running at that time, but when they do, those are not funds we'll receive back into our TOT.
Right, the rodeo typically stays at the 49er on the fairgrounds. Those are the two places that they typically will stay.
Okay.
On the agenda under 6.1, the recommendation was slightly different than what we have proposed, but we take the agenda description recommendation, which is to approve the fiscal year 2025 to 25 grant funding of 15,000. So that would be the first action for, the council to decide on. And then the second one would then to consider.
Oh, so breaking them up, basically.
Yeah, that was breaking up, so the first one would just be decide on just 1 year, and then the second one would be for you to decide on whether to grant anything beyond that. That helps.
Very good. It helps immensely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking for a motion for the first of the two.
Make a motion to approve, the grant funding for the year 2024-25 with the amount of $15,000. For the Champions Rodeo.
A second.
And a roll call.
Councilmember Cranford,
Aye.
Councilmember Hornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn.
Aye.
Mayor Amoruso.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes.
And I'll call for a motion for the second half.
Never not approved something, so. Actually, proper motion.
So instead of taking a motion to actively deny, you just simply not take a motion, or if there's.
So it just fails, right?
It just automatically fails. If that's the case. And if there is a motion and there's a second, that also fails.
Good job.
Well, yeah. Oh, looks like the second one fails until I got motion. And then we move on. 6.2, council appointment, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, so yes, 6.2, council appointments to regional boards and committees, council policy.
So the council serves on many regional boards and committees, and I just wanted to talk to the council about the process. So I put in the council packet a list of all of the boards and committees with all of the vacancies, which are many, since you're all new, so there's many vacancies. And so the process will be that you'll put on the blank sheet that I gave you, what you're interested in serving on, and get that to the city clerk. And she'll make a master list of what everyone's interested in, and she'll get that to the mayor. And then we'll get that to the mayor, and at the council meeting in February, once the full seated council is on board, then we'll make the selections to the committees, and we'll get all those in place so that we can let the other boards and committees within the county and the region know who the appointments are. There's 2 ad hoc committees that will need to get appointments for, and those are the sheriff's contract and the tribal city committee. Those were the only 2 active ad hoc committees. And we'll need to get those appointed as well. So if you're interested in those will need to be appointed as well. The broadband subcommittee was not active. The TOT committee was not active, and the grant funding subcommittee was not active. And so that's really why I brought this item, was just as information for you on what the process is, because that'll be coming back to make those appointments so we can get moving on that, because they'll start asking me who's been appointed. So that's all this item was just for your information.
I have a question. Not needed, is that what you're saying? What does that mean? Like it's on an as need basis they would meet, or for the ad hoc committees, like the TOT?
Right, they weren't meeting at all. you can put people on the TOT committee, and when grants come in for over $5,000, that's when I would get a hold of the TOT subcommittee and they would meet, and then they would make recommendations to the full body of the council on the larger TOT grants.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a date we need to select these by and have these in by?
We were thinking of bringing these back to the first meeting in February, so by the end of January.
Should we not, obviously, one more person's gonna be coming on at some point. Should we not discuss who would be willing and could serve on these committees tonight? A lot of them are two open positions, and let them, get the names down and at least get a jump on it, get moving on this, or do we just wait? Because some of these committees, are they gonna wanna meet, like, a long list of them here?
They might, don't need it all, but.
Okay, that's like the ad hocs, you're saying there's 3 that's not active, but I see you still have tribal city and sheriff's contract. Are they gonna not be meeting those ones in the next few weeks?
No.
We don't have any meetings scheduled for the sheriff's contract or the tribal. We don't have any meetings set for either of those ad hoc committees. And it's not agendized tonight for discussion for appointments to any of these. It was just scheduled it's agendized for an information item. It's not.
Yeah, I understand it has to be agendized. I'm just wondering if we shouldn't move it a little bit up and maybe start filling some of these, and there's gonna be open spots, whoever comes on, we can. I don't know, like I said, I'm new to this tonight, so I'm just wondering if we're gonna wait until February on this, if all this can wait till February?
Most of these appointments can wait till January. I don't know of any that cannot. I haven't had anyone contacting me to see who the new appointments are.
It's a little early for all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was just trying to get an understanding. I wondering if, these people call up and there's gonna be a meeting, we have nobody listed to represent. Was what I was trying to get at, if we should do something sooner. So if you're saying there's nothing scheduled with any of these, then that's fine.
Or do we have a personal interest in something, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that may come back on the January 9th meeting may be the sheriff's ad hoc committee. That may be the pressing ad hoc committee. Because we do have the sheriff's contract that needs to be moving forward. That may come back on the January 9th committee for appointment to the sheriff's ad hoc committee. That I see as could be a pressing committee that needs to be chosen right away.
And in that case, what would happen is that would be its own separate agenda item for January to appoint members to the ad hoc committee, since that requires action and to be placed on agenda. And then the remaining appointments would be handled in February.
So,
But that is a good point to raise, is if there's anything pressing, whether we should take that up in January.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that was all I was trying to get at, was any of the stuff pressing that we felt, because you look at this list and most of it's empty, the mayor's on a few of these things, but besides that, it's all empty. So I'm just kind of concerned, can we wait until the end of January or February or whatever? That was what I basically trying to get at, so. But now I understand that you call a special on this one particular thing, you call a special meeting, okay, that's fine. I'll move with that, question.
I was just going to ask Mr. Mayor if he would like to ask about.
I was waiting for all that to finish. So open up to the public for public comment. Seeing none, public comment. And thank you for the presentation. Next is 6.3, consider changes to personnel manual. And I think that would be Margaret.
There are some pressing changes that need to be made to the personnel manual. One such change is under the Family Care Act, we needed to add some language to add grandparents, grandchild, sibling, and domestic partner to 2 sections of the manual because they were added under federal law. And we have to add sick leave for part-time employees. We had 2 choices. We could add 1 hour for every 30 hours worked with certain milestones having so many hours of sick leave on the employee's sick leave bank. And, or we could front load the employees 40 hours at the beginning of each calendar year, with the employees being able to carry over 1 year's worth of sick time for a maximum of 80 hours on the books at any given time. We decided that it would be easier for us to front load the employees versus trying to track their time. And allowing them to carry over and carry 80 hours on the books for the maximum of the 80 hours. We only have 6 part-time employees. We're not talking about a lot of part-time employees. And then the other is to change our benefit minimum hours of work before you get benefits from 20 hours to 35 hours, which is the standard. So when, in order to earn benefits, you have to work 35 hours versus 20 hours. And those are the changes now. We know our manual needs a major overhaul, and we're working with through our risk management firm, Sierra, and the attorneys in that firm to do a major overhaul of the manual to get it up to a more current state. And that would come back later in the year, but these were more pressing changes that needed to be done right away. And so those are the changes that are before you tonight.
Thank you. I'll open it up for public comment. Seeing none, I'll close public comment and bring it up to council for discussion. Yeah, sorry.
I don't have any
Okay,
comments.
No,
Yeah, I kind of read through that and it sounds like Dave was like. We have to follow
makes sense. With no motion.
it. Make a motion to approve agenda item 6.3, changes to the personnel manual.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Crawford,
I,
Councilmember Cornish,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nunn,
Aye.
Mayor Amarissa.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes.
And moving on to 6.4, discussion of whether to fill city treasury vacancy appointed or special election. This has got several parts and pieces to it. How do you want me to break these down? Read it all or just do it one by one?
I'll give it to you.
Okay, go.
So this item is before you because the city doesn't have a policy for the city treasurer position, whether to go to a special election or to go for appointment. So it leaves the decision up to the council at this point. The decision has to be made, if you go to appointment, it has to be made within 60 days. If you go to a special election, the special election will be held on May 6th. So the position will be open for half a year. The cost would be approximately $11,237.30 per the elections office. And that would be an all-mail special election. If you wanted to hold a polling place mail ballot special election, the cost would be $20,408.09. If you wanted to make an appointment, there's a timeline in the staff report. And you could make the appointment at a special meeting on January 30th. with interviews being held on January 14th. If the council chooses to fill the vacancy by appointment, staff prepared a notice, it's in your packet. We could have that posted on Friday with it posted on social media and the city's website and in the Ledger Dispatch on December 27th, which would be the first available newspaper for us to post. And we could get it posted on all of the normal posting sites in town, the library, the post office, across the street. And we could call for letters of interest. And we could move forward with that. Due to the cost of calling a special election, staff recommends appointment to the position of city treasurer. And with that, I'll put it back in your hands.
Wasn't this just on the ballot for us to? Yeah, okay, so yeah.
That doesn't go into effect until 2028.
Oh,
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of a weird
Okay.
situation.
So in between, we have to make an appointment or hold a special election.
Right, and this will only be for 2 years and then it'll go back out
On the
for
ballot.
election for a 2-year term. And then we'll see if anybody runs. And then in 2028, it'll go to an appointed position.
Okay, well, it makes sense to me to appoint it since the majority already voted that that's what should happen.
Do we have anybody to appoint?
We would put out a notice and take letters of interest.
So that still would happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, I was somewhat confused by this in the packet as well, because I thought that we just voted, the citizens had voted. Just like Mindy said, to make it appointed. My understanding, and I guess I read it wrong, when this happened, was that if anybody had currently been running and got elected, their position would become appointed after 2028. But if nobody had run, that took effect immediately that it was appointed. So I guess I misunderstood that. So I thought this treasurer spot was now appointed because no one had run for it, no one was interested when it went up. So I misunderstood that, and that had me very confused looking at this. Yes. So you're saying we have to wait till 2028 to start the
Correct, so it was put up for an election, no one submitted their papers for nomination to file. And so actually, if you look at the election results that are attached to the resolution certifying the results, you have several write-ins, but they didn't qualify because they're not certified. So when that happens, it really means that no one was elected. And so that position then is vacant. And when the position becomes vacant, then there's two choices before the council. One, to go through the appointment process, or to call a special election. So the first decision for you would be to decide whether you want to go through that appointment process or to call a special election. I think if you want to move forward with calling a special election, that process is straightforward. We'd come back with a resolution calling an election. If you decide to move forward with the appointment process, then you would then have a discussion about the timeline and everything like that, which is.
So I think that I want to do what citizens want to do. It sounds like they've already voted that they wanted this appointed. A few, when it comes up. So if they've already voted in the last election to have it appointed and nobody's putting in, nobody's saying they want to do it, then I think it's pretty cut and dry here. So unless anybody else has anything to say, I'd make a motion we approve to appoint.
Oh, yes, we still have to go for public.
Oh, no, excuse me, I'm sorry.
So hold your motion, you can make it, just hold it. So then I open it up for public comment.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve Levin, community. Hi, everybody. Congratulations to all of you for representing us. Thank you for doing so. It's really important to everyone. I am Michael Spinetta. I live in Hawksview. And I'm also the guy who reported the error in the ballot, so I apologize, and I also, this is like the third time I did that. On the treasurer, I'm kind of going along with what you're saying too. It's going with the appointment and going kind of with the will of the people on how the spirit of the measure. If you guys can go along with that, however it is best possible. And the letters of intent, whatever goes along with this. And we go from there, whatever time period that takes. I have no idea. That was really interesting hearing how that works for 2 years. And it would be an election in 2 years again, no matter what.
It's kind of like the appointment and then the election this year, well, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, process.
Okay, that's
So
really
the
interesting.
appointment would only go so long.
Okay,
Isn't it a forward? When people ran for it, wasn't it 4 years?
The Sheila was in a year, so the appointment was for 1 year, then. the
I don't mean
election-
Valorant, but in the past, where treasurer and all that's not 4 years.
That's 4 years.
and then with the measure, when it's appointed, this, I know we can't go with the full measure on how it works. But then it's just you're hiring the person after that, correct? Or is it appointed for 2 years at a time? It is still, okay, all right, there, that, I think that,
What's this question?
okay, that, thank you. There you go, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Mike.
Any other public comment?
Makes sense.
Good evening, members of the council. Congratulations on your new positions. I don't know to congratulate you or perhaps to offer condolences, but in any event, you're here and so are we. Based on what I just heard, it sounds like there's nobody who wants to be the treasurer in Plymouth. So what do you think the chances are that if you go to the appointment process, you're gonna have somebody go appoint? Just a thought.
Look behind you.
I think that, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think by having her appointed, I think if somebody runs, they have to live in the city limits, I think that. If it's appointed, I don't think they have to, so that gives a bigger pool, I think, and if I'm wrong, speak up and say so.
That would be the attorney.
Well, if Mike's the candidate, then residency might mention.
But yeah, comes up.
I'm sorry, can you?
The question was, does the person have to live in city limits to be appointed treasurer?
I will confirm that, believe that that is still the case, yes,
Oh,
yes. And, also to answer Vice Mayor, Hunt's question. When a vacant, so it's a 4-year term, that is correct. When the vacancy occurs in the first half of the term, then that person serves. The person who's appointed serves for 2 years until the next general municipal election, which would be November 2026. And at that time, because it cycles up, then they would be elected for a 2-year.
so then. Well, thank you for clarifying that, I thought by the appointed, they gave us a bigger pool that we were able to appoint from outside the city, but.
Okay. All right, so bring us back. We still have public comments. Anyone else want to come up for public comment? Okay, seeing that, I will close public comment. And
Well, based on voters decided, with poll, I say that, make a motion to approve the 24 with the, appointments. It will make it an appointed position. The treasurer, for treasurer. Yeah. the appointed position.
Is the timeline in the staff report suitable?
You can take the motion first and roll call, but then once that's decided, if it's council's will, then discuss the process and procedure.
So, yeah, make a motion that we fill the treasurer position by appointment.
I second.
Councilmember Crawford,
Aye.
Councilmember Cornish.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nutt,
Aye.
Mayor Amarissa.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes.
So how do I handle the resignation thing? Because that was our, we have to,
We need to discuss the timeline for the city treasurer appointment.
Right. Yeah.
Is the timeline in the staff report for the treasurer appointment?
I think the other thing is fine.
Yeah.
We all do, we make consensus on that.
Do we need a motion?
Do we,
Does it need to be
do
added
we
to
need
the
a
motion,
motion for that too?
You don't need a motion.
Consensus is-
just direction? Yeah. Consensus. Thank you. So now it's on to the other part of 6.4. What do you, yes.
Yeah, let's go to that one.
Receive resignation letter by Councilmember McLaughlin and discuss timeline for selection process for city council vacancy.
This item is just to receive the resignation letter and to discuss the timeline in the packet for the appointment. The council has a policy on attempting to make an appointment for unexpected council vacancies. And to try to get a majority of the council to find a candidate to fill the vacancy. And then if they cannot find a candidate, then go to a special election. I put a timeline with this, it's the same timeline as the city treasurer's timeline in the packet. The notice has been posted, it's been in the paper, and it's posted in all of the locations that we normally post in. And I, again, am looking for approval of the timeline so that we can get things in place for that. And that's the item that's before you.
So is it appointment versus special election?
I'm not asking if for the difference, the council policy is that we do appointment. And so I'm asking about the timeline. I'm not asking if you want an election versus an appointment, because the council policy is to go to an appointment. And so that's the route I'm asking you to go to, because that's the council policy. What the item before you is to approve the schedule or to tweak the schedule to attempt to make an appointment.
So I'm gonna open up to public comment. Any public comment? Then Michael's coming back. Hold on.
Well, Michael's another from Knoxville. Really? Yes. And yeah, if you guys could save the money, I know it's different funds, but essentially, let's average it up 15,000 and magically there's money for the rodeo or anything else. I know it's not TOT funds. I know that. But yeah, just save us some money. Keith already submitted. I know there's other people who want to submit it and they're going to represent us just as well. And I think you're going to get the same pool of people for a special election that you would for, submitting their paperwork to get appointed. And I think we all have the same faith in our neighbors to represent us when it comes down to it. It's, just don't throw them a party for $20,000, please. I think that it's the same trust that we can benefit from if they're gonna go up. So just consider that. It's gonna be good people submitting no matter what. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Any other public comment?
Well, I think we should consider the public comment that was entered in our blog.
No, that's it.
That's separate.
No, it just goes in. Just get those.
You can just,
Minutes.
you can discuss it, but
Yeah, we can discuss it.
you can't read it.
Yeah.
So to your point, well, you can discuss it.
Yeah, you can discuss it, yes. For sure.
To what extent can we discuss it then?
You can discuss it if you have questions or you want to comment, you know, about it. You want to.
I guess mostly I'm wondering how my other fellow council members feel about what this came to fruition today.
Through this.
I have one question I have. Has anyone submitted a letter yet of interest to be appointed? We just got one tonight here at the table. Before that, are there any other letters?
We've received no other letters.
No, so at this moment right now, we have one, but it's open until what date? January 10th?
January 10th. We tried to give it through the holidays. So that people had time to do that.
Yeah, no, that seems totally reasonable. I just want to know where we're at on that and. Yeah, reading this, okay. I mean, well, I have more. I would say here's what I say. My feeling is this. I'd always prefer if there's multiple people, let the citizens decide. However, if we have one, then it would be kind of ridiculous to spend the money. But if we get multiple people, then I would say it's probably better off for the candidates themselves because then they were elected to the position, not appointed. They could always say, I was chosen, elected. And I think that's better for the community. But yeah, the 11,000 or whatever, 20,000, however, whichever way you decide to go, gonna be expensive. But like I said, it's gonna depend if we get more than just the one we got tonight. I mean, if that's it, then it's obvious we'll just go coming. But I think that we should maybe wait a couple of weeks, look and see if there's any letters and then go from there. Maybe if there's more letters.
So, right now with the,
Whoa. Public comment, I mean,
It was never closed.
we never closed
Never
it.
closed.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said council.
Return to the discussion. Like, I've lived here a long time. And my memory is not what it once was, but in my memory, all the recent appointments to the city council, and many of those have involved multiple candidates. In fact, the most recent one involved multiple candidates. And the people in this community have always entrusted this city council to choose from among those who have expressed an interest. And I think that's a policy. I think it's wise.
It's historic.
Peter knows. So
Been through several of them.
if you get one, if that person's interested, then you've got a person who's interested in the community. If you get more than one, I think that's a good thing because now you have multiple people who are interested. And then the city council can interview those folks and do whatever needs to be done in the interest of this community, of this city. And I don't see any need to spend 11,000 or 20,000 or any money to fill one seat. I do.
So close public comment. And open it up to the council again.
I mean, I struggle with spending money that we don't absolutely have to. But I also wanna do what's right by what the majority of the people, right? I mean, I have my opinions and, I conflicted internally. Do I wanna spend $11,237.30? No.
But that's not the question right now.
Right.
The question is, do we want the timeline? We're getting into the.
Oh, the timeline.
So I gotta pull this meeting back in focus, because we're outside our scope. So let's discuss the meat of what we have in front of us, which is gonna be timelines. Do we want to parallel them with the treasure?
I'm fine with the timeline.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So that I have a full understanding.
For sure.
So let's say we agree to the timeline, and then on January 10th, we have 3 people that have submitted a letter. And then let's say none of us can decide on somebody, then it's forced to go to a special election? Is that how that works?
That's how that works.
Yeah, if we
Okay,
end up
so
with
we
2-2.
attempt to make an appointment
Yeah.
Correct,
and then
correct.
if we can't come to a consensus, which there's 4 of us, so it could very easily be 2-2.
Yes.
Then it gets forced into a special.
That's not an issue.
Yes.
I see, okay.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure I understood how it worked. I was unaware it worked that way. So I agree with the timeline.
So,
The timeline is January 10th, isn't it?
Correct.
Right, yeah.
yeah, and I'm definitely not for committing to, if we're gonna do something different or something, and spend a bunch of money, it doesn't need to be spent, all about that. So I would agree with the timeline and then that night decide based on what's in front of us moving forward, you know, how we're gonna move forward. So I'm good with the timeline.
All right, so then we'll call for a motion.
I don't need a motion.
You don't need a motion, just direction on that one. Okay. Then direction it is. Number 7, council, staff, and communications, bring reports on matters of general interest. 7.1 is city manager report.
So you have the standard report that was asked of me from the previous council in your packet. That I just typically, given the packet, I don't typically go over that. Today was a pre-bid meeting on the McGee Park renovation project. We had 11 contractors that were at the meeting. So we could potentially have 11 bids on the project, which is outstanding.
Yeah.
Nice.
We will be canceling the second meeting in December, which would have been on December 26th. That meeting is canceled.
Thank you.
We will also be canceling the second meeting in January because the 3 new members will be at the League of California Cities new council members training conference. And that's all I have tonight.
Excellent.
My question. The meeting that we have to attend, that's just during the day though, right? We still have the meeting in the
There's
evening.
nice stuff too.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, like networking to,
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
and it goes till 5, we would never be back in time.
Especially if the traffic coming, this is not all.
Okay. Well, I'm a little bummed, yeah, I wanna come on the 26th, wow, how come we didn't Christmas, but.
That's true. Okay, so mayor and council members reports. Does anyone have any reports?
I don't have any reports because I haven't
Just
been
gonna put it on there.
But can we make comments at this time?
Yeah.
Okay, I
I'm
just,
gonna give you a lot of people that one, because yeah, for sure.
yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody who voted for me. And I'm very, very excited to start my 4-year term. And I want to thank you, Margaret, for the time you've taken to meet with me and kind of help get me up to speed on everything that needs to be done. And I look forward to working with all of you and making the next 4 years awesome.
I would totally echo that sentiment. I'm pumped to be here. Thanks for everybody that voted, came out and vote. Excited for the leadership that was here before us, and thank you to Margaret and Frank for the in-depth meeting the other day. And I look forward to serving with all of you.
Yeah, I would have the same to say. I was thought about doing this for a lot of years and finally did it. And I was a little overwhelmed by the support I got, and I appreciate it. You know, and I'm looking very forward to doing this and trying to do the best we can. I understand, as former councilman Tim was saying, there's a lot of issues facing the city right now, and I look very forward to putting the time and the energy into trying to fix the issues that are out there and make the town the best it can be, hopefully.
And thank you. And I would concur, thank you to the voters and and staff, and we're looking forward to working with new people. It's always interesting and challenging, and I think it'll be great. You know, it's always good to get a little fresh blood and different ideas. You never know where that's gonna take us. So I want to thank you, everyone. Thank everyone. And that's really, I don't have really anything else to add to that. And mayor and council members reports, again, nothing because no. And any 7.3 would be request for future agenda items. Or then we have, it's just
There was, public works and code enforcement update, let me see if I have, I should not have anything for that.
that was part of the city manager.
That's all part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was all of that, about minutes.
Yep.
Okay. So as far as the request for the future agenda items, which I would like to see honestly on the next agenda, is I would like to look at our policy on residential burn piles. I'd like that put on. And I would like to also put on there discussing the requirement for a permit. I know some towns don't even have that. You know, they just have basically guidelines. So that's something I would like to put on and soon, because I think it's time sensitive. Right now, people are trying to clean their properties. And so I don't think it's something we could put off very long, and I know it's been something that's been a little sensitive to a few people in town. So I think we should address that at our next meeting if possible.
Okay.
I have a question, or I would like to see something from the November agenda, which was the updated map of the Greenwich Ranch property,
We can speak with her for that.
I'm sorry,
You can speak with her for that.
okay,
He's supposed to see the updated from the November meeting of the Greenwich.
the Greenwich Ranch.
Okay.
And if there's anything,
That has not been turned in yet.
okay, where it is. Thank you.
Wendy?
I don't have anything, I would just, second their Dawn's sentiment about the burn piles, because I know it was recently changed from 10 feet to 20 feet for burning. And, nowhere else in the county has that or this date, so, yeah, and so I'm in agreement with getting that on the agenda would be good. To readdress. And I have also heard from multiple citizens regarding that.
That's what
I'm not sure it's completely what you want me to bring back.
I would like to visit two things. For one, the requirement of the 20-foot clearance that Councilman Cranford just brought up. I want to review that. And the other thing I want to review is if the city's requiring residents to actually get a permit from City Hall, if so, why? And the reason I say that is there are other cities that don't even require that. They have a set guidelines and you follow those guidelines. And the people don't need to come down and get a permit and go through all that. So I'm fairly sure I could assure you that Sutter Creek doesn't require you to come down to City Hall or the fire department and get a permit. They just have guidelines, which are follow the air districts. You have to call in, make sure it's a day, and then there's a few set guidelines that are in the city code. But people don't need to go down and get a permit and have it at their residence. And so I'm not really sure why we even have that in there. You get just one more hoop if somebody on Saturday decides, you know what, plans fell through, I'm gonna clean up and burn around the property, but I don't have a permit, City Hall's closed. So I don't even understand why we need to have a permit in place. It doesn't really, to me, make sense to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. And with that, I adjourn.